Ted Cruz, the Zodiac Killer, has just dropped out of the 2016 Republican presidential primaries. And the reason for this is because he got his butt kicked in Indiana. Now, this is great news for America because by far Ted Cruz is the worst candidate running this election cycle. Even when it was like 20-something people running in the Republican side and like 5 or 6 people running on the Democrat side, Ted Cruz, I always felt, is by far the most scariest and dangerous individual running this election cycle. You know, a lot of people look at Donald Trump and will say that, you know, he can't become president and all this, you know, he's the worst possible choice. And, you know, a lot of unintelligent people vote for, you know, Ted Cruz because they think it's going to stop Trump. Well, the problem is that Ted Cruz is worse than Trump. I think that, you know, Ted Cruz is, or the difference between Donald Trump and Ted Cruz is Donald Trump is an idiot. He's a narcissist. I don't really think he knows what he's doing at all. But Ted Cruz knows what he's doing. Ted Cruz is intelligent. He's evil intelligent. Donald Trump is just a narcissistic dumbass. And, you know, but a lot of people don't see that because people aren't informed. If you actually look at the policies and look at the statements of Ted Cruz, he is by far the most dangerous person running this election cycle. If I had to rank the the remaining 5 people, or you know, on the Democrat and Republican sides, you know, before he dropped out, number 1, the best possible choice by a long shot. This would be our beacon of hope, is Bernie Sanders. You know, if you look at facts and statistical evidence, his policies will work because in other countries they do work. And then number 2, it'd actually be a tie, I think, between Hillary Clinton and John Kasich. You know, both of them have, you know, like very few good things about them, but they both have very bad things about them also. And then number 3 or 4, whatever, would be Donald Trump, narcissistic, Mussolini incarnate fascist or whatever. And then number 5 would be Ted Cruz, the bringer of the apocalypse. So, yeah, I'm pretty glad that, you know, Ted Cruz is off the table, you know, so he can go back to Texas and, you know, do what he does down there and just stay the hell out of, you know, trying to run for president. But, you know, Ted Cruz is, look up his statements. I mean, this guy is a, you know, a young earth creationist who's in charge of, I think it's like the Senate Space and Science Committee. Very, very dangerous. You let this yahoo in charge of something very important. But that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and feel the burn. Peace out.